Hey guys, and welcome back to another video. I know it's been about 3 weeks since my last video, but I just kind of wanted to sit down with you guys and chat, let you guys know what's going on. A lot in my life is changing currently, but it's okay. Yeah, sales in my two Etsy shops have been pretty low lately, which, totally okay. But I've been using a lot of the extra time to do some reading, to do some writing. I made a video earlier about, as a writer, like why I don't read, but why I changed my mind and why, I'm getting back into reading. And since I have a lot of free time lately, I kind of splurged a little bit and I got a new case for my Kindle and a new charger because the charger port was broken. But anyways, this is the Amazon Kindle Fire 7. It was like $50 for the basic version, 16 gigabytes with ads. But I don't really mind the ads because they like recommend books to you. So I'm like, anyways, so I got a new Kindle. I got 3 books that I am planning to read. One of them I'm currently reading. I just wanted the paperback copy as well. And then, yeah, so I'm going to share that with you guys right now as like my little TBR for the rest of the year, or like for now at least until I can finish them. Because, I'm only just getting back into reading. I'm trying to slowly, delve into that a little bit more. If you guys want a little bit of a recap or like a explanation as to why, like, reading's a little hard for me, X, Y, and Z, go check out that video. It's called Why I Stopped Reading as a Writer, Why I Changed My Mind. First book that I bought is, I'm trying to also only buy books from indie authors, which is kind of cool, or like my writing friends on Twitter, to, support other authors' dreams, get them with the reviews, and also just like read some good writing, from like my friends and stuff like that. So I made the other video about this book and I'm still currently reading it. I think I'm up to chapter like 10 or 11, maybe 12 right now, but it's called The Probability of Time by Tim Custer. It's really good so far. I'm really enjoying it. This is the book that actually re-sparked my love for reading after a long time and after this like somewhat traumatic event, which led me to stop reading like completely, X, Y, and Z. But this is the book that really like rekindled that love for reading. So yeah, I think I'm up to chapter 12. I forgot to mention, the cool thing about the Kindle is that this Kindle is only $50. And I would highly recommend it to people because, buying paperbacks, buying hardcovers, it can get pretty pricey, like a single paperback or hardcover could be as much as $15. So I always recommend to people to just splurge a little one time on the Kindle. And then you could buy Amazon books for like $2.99, $1.99, etc. And you get the whole book. So also, if any of you guys have actually read these books, please don't spoil it in the comments. I'm just gonna say that right now. But the second book that I bought off Amazon is called Somewhere in Between by Dawn Hosmer. And this book, I haven't started it yet. The next 2 books I haven't started, but they just looked really good, so I wanted to pick them up because, in the writing/reading booktube community, authortube community, we totally don't have a problem with buying books before we've read the other ones that we're still reading. But you know what? Whatever. We're not going to address that right now. But it just looked really good. It's about a woman who wakes up and she's dead and she's trying to figure out what happened to her. And it just seems really cool. I've tweeted at Dawn Hosmer before. She's a lovely writer. And I just really wanted to support her work, so I bought this book. And last but not least, this book is actually a hardcover. I got it just yesterday at a yard sale. The girl was selling it and I offered her more money because it's a beautiful hardcover book, but she was like, I just want to get rid of it. And I was like, okay. So I actually got this book for $2, which is really cool. It's called There Will Come a Darkness by Katie Rose Poole. It's like beautiful. Like, look at that. Like, oh, look at that. Look at that cover. Look at that lettering and that design. I'm such a bitch for like books. now, all of a sudden. But I think it sparked with the writing of my debut novel, but whatever. But anyways, this book is about, like, I actually don't really know how to, like, put this into a synopsis. Basically, it's like a fantasy. It's an adult fantasy, and basically, there are 5 people, and like the world rests on their shoulders right now. And are they gonna save the world or destroy it? And it rests on all 5 of them. Any one of them could destroy or save the world, etc. And it just looked really good too. So this is another book. I wanted to update you guys a little bit on my debut novel that I'm currently working on. So originally it was an LGBT YA romance. And keep in mind, you know, I'm not LGBT. But the reason why I was writing it was for my parents who are LGBT. My parents are lesbians. And, you know, I was going to write it through their perspective. I was going to have them help me with it, X, Y, and Z. I think I'm still going to do it, but I don't think I want to do it as my debut anymore. Also, just because my writing style, I want to shift it into like something different. So I think I'm going to put a halt on that. And I think I'm going to start with another idea that I have, even though I'm like 5,000 words in, but you know, whatever. So I was on Spotify the other day and I was listening to this song, and it was perfect for the idea that I have for another book idea. So I was like, it's a sign. It's a sign. I was like, I have to do it now. My poetry book, the second poetry book that I'm going to come out with, because as you all know, my name is Kira. My writing name is Emily, and I have a published poetry book called Older out on Amazon. And yeah, I'm very proud of it. It's my baby, and I will promote it till the day I die. It's about, you know, the things that you learn, the things that you don't learn until you get older, you know, the things that you can't understand as a child. Love, heartbreak, loss. A lot of that is themes in the book. Insecurities, dealing with stuff like that. So yeah, so I don't know, I recommend it to anyone only because I found that at least one person, or at least like everyone could find at least 1 or 2 poems that they liked. But anyways, so go check that out on Amazon if you want to support me, X, Y, and Z, whatever. But I'm currently working on a second poetry book. I don't know if you guys have seen that video as well. If not, go check it out. It's called my second poetry book, but it's called Faces of My Life, and it's about all the people in my life that have impacted me in some way or other. It's coming along slowly, like very slowly. I don't know why I just did that. But anyways, it's coming along very slowly, and I think the reason why that is because each poem has a person's illustration on it, an illustration of their face. And I think the reason why it's coming along so slow is because how can I condense all of a person and all of how they've changed me and impacted me into 1 page or 1 poem? And it's getting to be a little bit of a challenge, but I do really enjoy it. And also getting everyone's portraits in, getting everyone's illustrations into my illustrator, which is very nice. It is coming along just slowly but surely. So that's going well. But before I end this video, I did want to read you one of the poems that I wrote the other day. Because, I don't know, poetry just flows out of me sometimes. Like water, you know what I'm saying? Or like words. It just, word vomit, you know? Like it just comes out of me. So this is my notebook. I'm very proud of my notebook. I don't know why. I love it. A lot of these stickers I designed. A lot of them are my friends designed. But anyways, this is the back. I haven't sticker bombed the back yet, but whatever. So I want to read you one of the poems that I wrote yesterday, actually. Just because, like, I do want to still keep on the theme of poetry on this channel as well, because I feel like there's not many, like, booktube, authortube poets out there, so that's me. I hear the birds whistle through the trees. On warm summer nights of my reverie and motion, I wait for the sound of your footsteps through the openness of the woods, and to be brought back to the days of my youth, to remember your face before it too fades away.